Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Bernita Adele tapping in, your resident executive producer and anti-racist, of course. And we are talking now all of our emerging event professional, all of our producers, our visionaries, those who want to build out their business as event producers. You have found the right space. And in 2026, we're going to be using this space in part to talk about all of the tools that are going to allow you to be successful in 2026. And today we are going to go back to the basics. Yes, there will be conversation about technology and AI and all of those things that are required in order for you to be successful in the future of the evolving world. Nothing will ever change experience. Nothing will ever have change over the mastery of fundamentals when it comes to producing events. So if you're an executive producer, you're an emerging executive producer, if you want to go from making $1,500 for an event or $2,500 for a wedding, oh dear goodness, and transition into building multiple six-figure event businesses, this is the place for you. So today we're going to talk about an important acronym, OTB. Now, if you're out there in the audience, I want you to drop in the chat what you think the acronym OTB stands for when it comes to events. I'll give you a second. Okay, now, for those who do not know, this is the absolute basic foundation for all events. Your objective, your timeline, and your budget. And we're going to run through each of those. So first, the O, objectives. Now, your objectives, that is your vision and goal for the event. One vision. There must be one central vision for your event. And this is one of the things I have always been grateful for and prided on when it comes to my work with various clients, is that I'm able to help them narrow down, streamline, and get really, really clear about what is their vision for the event. And then from there, break down very quickly what are all the steps that are going to be needed in order to bring that vision to life. Now, when it comes to visions and goals, you can have more than one goal, and we'll break those down in additional videos. But when it comes to a vision, you need a singular vision, a singular purpose, and your ultimate responsibility as the executive producer is to ensure that your client maximizes their return on investment in order in achieving that vision. And if you didn't understand that, your ultimate responsibility is not just making sure the lights are on and the tablecloth match and the food is good. Your ultimate responsibility as an event executive producer is to ensure that your client maximizes their return on investment with that event. And that can look a lot of different ways, but that is the ultimate responsibility. Now, getting into breaking down this idea of you have the vision, now you're going to break down what it takes to get there. That then goes into the T for timeline, otherwise known as a project timeline. This is your roadmap. Your project timeline is either a visual representation or a list of all of the tasks that are required in order to make your event successful. I'll say that again. The project timeline is either a visual representation or it is the list of all the tasks that are required in order to make your event a success. Now, with those project timeline, there is a T. I'm going to come back with a bonus T at the end. So we really could say OTBT, but I'm going to tell you what you're going to start with next is your budget. B is for budget. How much money does your client want to spend? And even more importantly, how much money can your client afford to spend? Now you have to be able to answer those questions right up front. Do not start your event production and planning until you have until you have done everything to get clear on what money is available. You cannot move forward until you're clear on what the budget is and what the client wants to spend and what they can afford to spend. Now, we've all been there where you've had a client that have, what do you say, champagne taste and for their vision, but they may have a beer budget. Now, that does give us space to get creative as the executive producer. However, you need to be clear on what those parameters of the budget are and you stick with them. Now, I said that there was going to be a bonus T, and that T stands for team. At the end of the day, none of us do this alone. If you're the executive producer, You're going to have a team of people working together to bring this event to life. That not only is team members from your client, but you better make sure that you have your right internal team in place. Do you understand that you have in place every person in the right role and in the right skill set in order to get the job done? Do you have everybody that you need in the right role and the correct skill set to get the job done? Now, with all of those pieces in place, you are well on your way to thriving in 2026 to make your events come to life. So if you are an emerging producer and you have any questions or you want to just getting started, tap into my DMs on Instagram at Vernita Adele. Get those appointments set up. We'll be back next Tuesday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, with some more tips on how you will succeed as an emerging producer and go from emerging to mastery. From emerging to mastery, right here at Vernita Adele, and let the world know how you'll use your hot sauce today.